What's good? How y'all doing? First and foremost, I want to speak on behalf of one thing. All right. Before I start this entire video, I want to base this video on insecurity and the idea of self-love and self-preservation, because a lot of people say they love themselves, but do a lot of things that are hateful to themselves in order to succumb to other people's desires for what they want out of them. Now, me personally, I'm not with that, but there are a lot of people that are with that, so I just want to speak. But the first thing that I want to say is you are not born with any preference of anything on this earth if you have not experienced it. All you are a baby that is witnessing other people that are giving you an exposure to something in your life. Okay? You've never been born liking chocolate cake. You've never been born loving pepperoni pizza over pineapple and ham pizza. You're weird if you eat that. And you're not born liking The Little Mermaid if you've never seen it before. So you're not about to convince me that a child, a baby, is predisposed to being sexually attracted, not physically attracted to people, because to acknowledge somebody as attractive is very different than to say that they are born sexually attracted to someone, considering you have to be having sex in order for that attraction to exist sexually. So, with that being said, one, you're not born gay. So, as children, when I was a child, see, this is how I know that times are changing too rapidly. Because when I was a child, it was very, very understood that if you had a penis on your body, you were a man. And if you had a vagina, you were a female. And to say that sounds ridiculous to hear any other argument. To say you are transgender mentally because you don't feel like you want to be that is an example of you not accepting yourself. If I say I'm transracial because I didn't want to be discriminated for being black and white in my hometown, and I say I'm actually Asian, that doesn't change the fact that I'm black and white. Because physically you can see that, biologically you can prove that, and outside of that, what is there? What merit is there if there's two standards that have already proven me wrong? That I have a mental disorder. Now, if you say, oh man, don't call it a mental disorder, feel sympathy for these people, you know what I'm saying? I'm not judging you, I'm not condemning you, okay? It's still your decision. If you decide that you want to cut off your penis and you want to be the opposite sex, you're just a really good actor in my opinion, and I'm going to think that you're acting well and you're really committed to your role. Now, I'm not going to be like, that's a woman, because in order for you to have been a woman, you would have had to been a woman from the jump. If I say I am a rhinoceros or Tyrannosaurus Rex or a goat, llama, anything like that, y'all are going to discredit me. Why? Because I'm a human that talks and speaks. Well, what if I say I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex in a human body, and because I have a human brain, I'm capable of speech? Like, come on now. Does that make sense? Okay then, so I'm not here for none of that transgender talk, and that's all I'm going to say about that. However, if you are transgender, you are still a human being, and I'm not going to treat you any differently or love you any less as a human being. Alright, I'm just not going to agree with what you're saying. Just like with a drunk, just like with a heroin addict, just like with a pedophile. I might not necessarily want to see a pedophile or know about a pedophile, okay? However, as a human to human standard, I am not the one to dictate how, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to agree with anybody for me to love them as a human, okay? Now, I also don't agree pedophiles should live. I believe if you rape a child, you should get killed, but it is what it is on that. But on the human level, since we can't just go out here slaying, you know what I'm saying, pedophiles, because you are human, I respect that you are human. I respect that you have your own decisions, and I respect that I've made bad decisions myself. So, because I've made bad decisions and because you've made bad decisions, we are now equal. Our actions are not equal. However, we are equal as people that make bad decisions. All right? On to the homosexuality. A lot of things that I've experienced in my life, for example, um, I had my aunt when I was in elementary school. She got involved with another woman. They moved in together. My aunt had my cousin already. So we would just, I would go spend the night with them. We would chill. So I already understood what it was like for homosexual couples. And then, as I started getting older in elementary school, my cousin, his name was Jody, he actually came out as homosexual to me. In his room, he was telling me how he just liked dudes and all this stuff. And I was like, I mean, I'm not with that, but I'm not you. So that's your life. You know what I'm saying? As I went through middle school, I witnessed a lot of people becoming insecure. Now, my insecurity was at its highest peak in middle school. All right, I hated myself. I didn't love my life. I felt like because my siblings kept being born, that attention was being taken away from me at home. I didn't really talk to people at school except the people that I hung out with already from my neighborhood. And you know what I'm saying? When I went home, I played video games, sat in my room, locked myself in. I didn't have a reason to talk to anybody because I didn't care to talk to anybody because I didn't feel like anybody cared about me. But I'm gonna make a confession. All right, I did find what porn was in seventh grade. Uh, I went into my mom and stepdad's closet, and there were some DVDs at the top. I had just grabbed one, thinking they were just movies, like bootleg movies, because we used to have a lot of bootlegs. And I put it in my Xbox with porn. So I was watching it. You know what I'm saying? And then it went from watching it every other day or every now and then to literally religiously watching porn, bro. Like it became a habit, and I was watching porn every single day of my life from seventh grade till about my freshman year of college, bro, which was 2 years ago. So I mean, realistically, dude, I was watching porn for a while because I took a year off after high school, so including that year, so really it would have been equivalent to a sophomore year in college. But I've I've separated myself from that. And whenever you separate yourself from something and you believe in your mind that you really don't want to be involved with that anymore, you can separate it. All right. So you're not going to tell me anything is predetermined about any decision you make. So, with that being said, my sexual insecurity within myself got put into a platform of videos. However, a lot of people's sexual interactions in themselves get invested into other people because those people are willing to give them emotional feedback back. And that's what they want. They want to seek the affection, they want to seek the attention. And I can understand same sex relationships in the aspect of they can relate to you on how you feel emotionally, and they can be there for you physically, and they can touch you and stuff like that and make you feel better physically. However, that doesn't excuse what's actually happening. What's actually happening is you don't love yourself. All right. So now you're giving yourself away in exchange for some love back, because now you think that there's a mutual exchange when in reality you're being used. Because now, since you started off a foundation where you didn't love yourself first, and you can be as flamboyantly homosexual as you want to be, all right, that does not matter to me. I just don't want you to try to excuse your behavior by saying you were born that way, as if you're not choosing what you're doing every day. Because I chose to wear this hoodie before I put this video on. You know what I'm saying? I chose to sit in this chair. I chose to turn this light on. Those are decisions that I'm making. All right. I didn't choose to have curly hair. I didn't choose to be light skinned. All right. I choose to like women because I'm attracted to women. Now, if you're choosing to like men because you're attracted to men, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily have anything to say on that. But you have to admit that it is a choice regardless. All right. Just like with being obese. Whenever you're obese and you keep eating and eating and eating when you're lonely or when you're sad, stuff like that, and you're gaining weight, you don't love yourself. Because if you truly loved yourself, the only person that you can care about in the most extreme form is yourself, human-wise, okay? Because if you invest all of your time and all of your energy into other people, you're giving yourself away for not a mutual exchange. It doesn't matter what you're doing. And I'm gonna make a video about a mutual exchange later, but that's on a different level. All right. So whenever you're making these decisions and you're making them out of insecurity, you start to make more excuses for why you've made these decisions, and then those excuses become the validation for why. And a lot of homosexual men that I met in my life, bro, have admitted to me that they have been sexually assaulted. All right, and statistically, a lot of attackers have been sexually assaulted. So I'm not necessarily here for you're gay because you like boys. I'm here for I got my life transformed as a child, and I lost something of myself. And because I lost something of myself, I made a different decision in my life because in myself I didn't feel secure. So if you're willing to admit that, I commend you. I really do commend you because you are a hero in yourself. And when you're a hero in yourself, that's really all you can be, man. Like, at the end of the day, making excuses every single day for why you make decisions is a cop out. And if you're making excuses for every decision that you make, you're not living your life to any kind of potential. You're really keeping yourself down. You're holding yourself away from opportunities, and that's not fair to you. So, I mean, I really can't say nothing more on that. The reason I'm gonna speak on this issue though is because I've never spoken on behalf of this before, and on a video. Like, I put stuff on my Snap, and I've been accused of being homophobic. However, I asked my ex-roommate, who was a homosexual man who had a boyfriend over multiple days, and we would all chill in the living room and have intimate conversations, you know what I'm saying, spend quality time with each other. I asked him, was I homophobic? He said no. I asked him, did he think I was transphobic? He said no. But I also had a female. It's always females, bro. I had a female call me a closeted gay man, solely because this year I've spoken on behalf of homosexual things maybe 15 times on my story this year, and it's been multiple months. And I know it. I don't know. I feel like if I speak on something about being overweight, nobody's gonna accuse me of being fat. If I speak on something about being black, nobody's gonna necessarily accuse me of being black. Now, because you can see me, you're probably gonna assume that I have some black in me, and because I've already said that I'm biracial, you can assume that as well. However, if I'm merely speaking on something, that does not necessarily mean anything about me in correlation with that. Maybe I'm just mentally capable of having conversations about things that are topics in our culture, all right, without having to succumb to that conversation or the wheel, or what the agenda is, because this is what the truth is, all right. This is the truth. All right? This is why I don't want to see homosexual things on every platform. I don't want to see transgenders being promoted, and I don't want to see all of that, because all you're doing is admitting that every decision they're making is merely for the purpose of sex. Okay? Whenever you say it's their sexuality, right? And when you make something sexualized, then you're going to force the teaching of the premise of the sexuality to children. All right? And I don't agree with gay pride. All right? I don't understand that, because literally it's a parade to say that you're having sex anally for the men, okay, realistically, and otherwise you're just emotionally involved with somebody of the same sex. Because I don't necessarily see women together as a physical exchange of anything. When I see women together, I feel like it's because they emotionally understand each other. They affectionately feel that desire because of that closeness that they built based on how they relate to each other emotionally. So then once they take it physical, then their level of relationship changes. And once they're physically adapted after the emotional, they usually have longer relationships. And they're usually raising their children that they've had in prior relationships together, stuff like that. Like, I've seen that on multiple occasions. However, homosexual men are usually strictly for the physical act. And if you're strictly for the physical act and you're promoting your sexuality, you're promoting just the physical act. You're not necessarily trying to teach anybody about relationships, because if you're trying to teach people about relationships, the most important conversation would be the word friendship. Because any partner relationship that isn't sexual, or even if you are sexual, even if y'all are having sex, okay, the most important bond you can have with a human being that isn't related to you is a friend. And that's literally the goal of any marriage. You just want to marry your best friend. That's what that means. You want to be able to continuously be able to grow with them. You want to continuously be able to be with them, and not necessarily judge each other off of how you feel or what's going on outside of anything, because y'all already understand each other and y'all respect each other. And that's what I made the video about love for. Because if you respect somebody and they respect you back, y'all be together. However, a lot of these relationships in the other side of the spectrum, like there's a lot of heterosexual relationships, okay? The majority. And the majority of those relationships out of my age bracket are not respectful relationships. You're not respecting your partner. If you are in a relationship with someone and you're posting nude online. That's not respectful. You're not respectful to someone if you're dating them. Yet when you go to work, you're hollering at the people that's coming in. You're not respecting them. You're not respecting anyone in your relationship if y'all are together, and while y'all are together, you're watching porn. And I understood that. And that's why I understood that I was being disrespectful. And that's why I sought out in myself to make a change. Because 2 years ago, I was in a relationship, and I had already been in a relationship for like a year. So in that time, I already knew, wow, man, I'm really messing up. Like, what am I doing? Because I was already, I'm not going to say a porn addict, but I was making the decision consciously that I wanted to watch porn. And I would feel a physical desire to do that. And I understand that once you have the physical, um, once you meet your physical climax in any activity, that's playing sports, playing video games, watching a movie, you know what I'm saying? If you get any kind of emotional or physical stimulus that resonates in you over and over and over again, and you're doing it to yourself every single day, whenever it's gone for a period of time, you're going to seek that, right? And if you seek that in a person, you're using them. Now, if you're seeking in a thing, you're being used. Because now you've become the process of repetition. That object is going to be there forever. All right, those videos are going to be there forever. They're just actors in a scene. They're creating a false narrative for sex, and it's not emotional based. It's strictly physical. And that's where I feel like a lot of people go wrong in their relationships. And I feel like a lot of people go wrong in their mentality of how they are sexually. Because in their sexuality preferences, or what they're choosing to do with people in general, is because the touching feels good. And because someone is actually, giving them that affection and just building the security that they never had before. And we've all been insecure, so I completely understand. I just do not agree with excuses. So I made a statement. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself out there because I'm gonna let y'all know. There was a picture on Instagram, and it said it was about Women's Day. Okay, the picture itself said, "Why is Women's Day more celebrated than Men's Day?" Or why is there a Women's Day? Something like that. And then the caption under that, because it said, because men's accomplishments can't be summed up in one day. Now, that's a very sexist statement. Alright, I most definitely agree that is sexist. Now, my comment, however, was, in 2019, a trans man said, I felt that. And then I said, but did you, Brenda? Alright, now I understand. I don't know anybody named Brenda, so I wasn't like going for anybody. I wasn't coming for Brenda. Alright, but somebody commented on my comment, which there were thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. So if you comment on mine, you're giving me permission to speak on behalf of your comment, because now you're seeking me and for an exchange of attention. That's what the whole purpose of likes are. If I like your photo, I'm giving you the gratification of my attention. I've acknowledged it. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? If I commented, I felt like I had to say something. Now, I said, somebody commented the laughing emojis. I said, chill. I don't want to look sexist, because it is sexist, in my opinion, to say women's actions are less than men's. But it feels worse to me to say a woman is a man if the woman has a vagina. That used to be one of the biggest insults, if you called a girl a man. Nowadays, there's literally girls out here calling themselves men. However, when I see a bald woman, I'm still able to acknowledge that that's a woman somehow without having to pull her pants down. But like I said, that's not me. It's not my decision. So I'm not going to speak on the credibility of the people or who they are as people. All right? It's just that I have to love you as a person. I don't have to agree with you. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, you're just willing to seek that role, like I said. So if you're willing to seek that role and that's what you want to do, man, that's on you. But don't come to me trying to tell me that because I am not with you or following you that I'm delusional. Because that's what happened. I got called transphobic. They said my comment was transphobic. Alright. Alright. A phobia, by definition to me, Okay, I'm not necessarily gonna say it's Webster because I've read like arachnophobia for extreme fear from spiders, a crippling fear from spiders, stuff like that, or homophobia. It's not based on fear. They say homophobia is a desire to like put homosexuals down and make them feel less or whatever. I don't feel like I've made any homosexual person in my life ever feel down. Okay, my homeboy, um, Darian, for example. All right, this man has been saying a lot of things to me in high school, and he said a lot of things to me after high school. All right, that were inappropriate. However, I laughed it off as a joke because he knew that I was straight and I knew that he was gay. So, in that mutual agreement that we are thinking differently, I have to know that the context of what he's saying has to be strictly him saying it, knowing that I'm not going to play into it. So, there's no reason for me to emotionally get angry at him or be offended. Now, I could be offended or be mad that he is trying me and disrespecting me if he knows my preference. However, I never made it a boundary against him to be like, bro, you can't be gay around me. You know what I'm saying? I never told him specifically that he couldn't make comments around me, that he couldn't, you know what I'm saying, talk to me about anything. Because at the end of the day, that's why people kill themselves. People kill themselves and they hurt other people because they never had anybody to talk to. So it's not up to me to decide who I can turn around based on what they're saying and what they're doing. Because maybe they're just trying to beat around the bush because at the end of the day they want to have a conversation that they're scared to have with you. They want to see how comfortable you are with their most intimate, you know what I'm saying, thoughts and what they actually want to say. Like, it's not for me to turn somebody around as a human because like I said, I love people human to human basis. Like, I don't, it's not about who you are or what you've done. It's just about, do you love yourself? And then from that, do you love people? And if you love yourself, I have to respect you regardless. So if you're the most flamboyant dude, like I said, if you love yourself, now, now, all right, if you're the most flamboyant male, all right, I do not agree that you love yourself. However, I can accept you telling me you love yourself. All right, but that's a different conversation. And then, aside from that, once you love yourself and we've established self-respect for one another, stuff like that, then when the intimate conversations come and we're actually having real discussions and stuff like that, and you get to know, you know what I'm saying, the legitimacy of what I'm saying based on my life experiences, and I get to see the merit of what you're saying based on your life experiences and not your life excuses, then we can have a civil conversation and discuss some real issues, bro. But once you try to admit to me that changing your gender doesn't matter, especially when you're telling children that they can change their gender at the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, and that doesn't matter before they're even old enough to be able to even want to have sex. Like, they shouldn't even be having the desire. I was exposed to porn when I was 12. I didn't have sex till I was 19. So there is no excuse. There's literally no excuse for why you can't abstain from sex until you graduate high school. No excuse at all. All right, I have been exposed to many women. I had had many conversations about sex. I had had plenty of exposure to sex because I had been watching porn every single day. And I'm not necessarily going to say that I'm cute, but I've seen some uglier people catch stupid amounts of bodies. Okay, so I'm going to say that. And that's what I think the self-hatred and the lack of self-love and self-respect comes from. I think once you're out here giving yourself to somebody, I'm going to make that another video, so let me shut up. Y'all have a good day, all right? I don't discriminate people based on their decisions, unless you're a murderer. All right, if you're a murderer, I can't respect you, because now you've chosen to be the God that the devil wants you to feel like. Because now you've already had the ability to create life, but now you've taken a life that you didn't create. So, unless you're an abortion, a pro-abortion person that went through with that, but I'm not here to condemn. I'm just stating facts. Like, if you say you didn't kill a baby when you aborted a baby, yet acknowledge that a seed. All right, never mind. I already got a video for that. So, y'all have a good day. I love y'all. I'm about to make another video right after this.